Kanina na nabanggit din si VP Sara doon sa possible ongoing sa ICC. Hindi po ba magkakaroon ng push and pull kung kunwari kailangan nilang pumunta doon sa The Hague or kailangan siyang nandoon tapos mayroong ongoing impeachment dito sa Pilipinas?
Well, kagaya po ng nabanggit ko, kung sakasakaling ganun po, I think kung ganun na mangyayari, magkakaroon po talaga ng pagka-delay or magkakaroon tayo ng medyo problema dito sa impeachment.
Sige sir, yun na lang po muna on my.
Before Mela, Marian Enriquez from TV5.
Sir, follow-up lang po sa ICC and yung possible involvement nga po ni VP Sara regarding that. And we also know po, nakalatag po sa articles of impeachment natin.
Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. VP Sara Duterte nataranta sa biglang paglabas ng desisyon ng ICC or International Criminal Court hinggil sa partisipasyon nito sa crime against humanity. Matatandaang si VP Sara ay mayor noon ng Davao City noong nangyari ang war on drugs at AJK ng administrasyon ng Pangulong Duterte. Kaliwat kanan ngayon ang dagok na kinakaharap ng mga Duterte pagkatapos inaresto ng ICC si FRRD na ngayon ay nasa detention facility na ng ICC sa The Hague, Netherlands. Samantala, si VP Sara Duterte naman ay humaharap sa impeachment trial na isinusulong ng mga taga-kamara hinggil sa mga kasong napapaloob sa articles of impeachment, kabilang na ang confidential funds, bribery, inciting to sedition at grave threats sa Pangulo, First Lady at House Speaker Romualdez na bunyag na maliban sa mga controversial ang mga pangalan na nakatanggap di umano ng confidential funds mula sa OVP at isa na rito ang pangalang Mary Grace Piatos, ay mayroon pang ibang mga pangalan na nakatanggap. At ito ngayon ang nadiskubre ng mga taga-kamara na sina Congressman Ortega at kasama nito. Subalit ayon sa kampo ng Vice Presidente ay tangi ang COA or Commission on Audit ang makakasagot kung meron siyang hindi maipaliwanag na paggamit ng confidential funds at intelligent funds. Dahil lahat umano ng mga reports niya sa COA ay aprobado at cleared ng auditing.
UNTV for her questions.
Good morning po, Kong. Si Vice President Duterte po natanong po sa The Hague regarding po sa issue ng confidential funds, lalo na po yung humahabang listahan ng mga fictitious names na si Kong Ortega po yung naghayag. Pero meron po siyang statement, ang sabi niya, if I may read, hindi ko masagot yan dahil as we speak, hindi namin alam how they handled the chain of evidence. Hindi natin alam kung yan talaga yung sinubmit ng Office of the Vice President at this point. Any reaction to her statement po?
Sa akin naman po, at least may nakuha rin tayo na reaction or sagot. Kasi nga, nung 2 days ago, siguro Hello, ayun. So yung siguro 2 days ago, siguro mga 8 interview ako sa isang araw tungkol diyan sa sila Dodonggang saka sila Mickey Mango saka si Jay Camote. Hindi Jay Konghun, Jay Camote. Sabi ko nga po, nag-umpisa yan, budget briefings, during the hearings sa Good Government. And up until this point, hindi po talaga nila masagot eh. Kasi sabi ko nga, if that's a procedure, may procedure po tayo with handling confidential intelligence funds, madali pong sagutin talaga yon. Kasi nga, kung sumunod ka sa procedure at, 'di ba? Mas madali po talagang sagutin pag alam mo. Ngayon, sabi ko nga po, meron naman po tayong nakabinbin na impeachment. Sabi ko, then that will be answered during the impeachment sa Article 2. So, kaya nga po, siguro, makikita po natin yung Kalye survey, no? Talagang yung mga tao, ramdam na ramdam mo sa taong bayan na, uy, ano ba itong mga to? Sino ba itong mga to? Ba't hindi nila mapaliwanag? So, sabi ko nga, ayan, meron pong forum at magkakaroon po ng impeachment para po masagot lahat ng mga tanong po natin. Kasi hanggang ngayon, ako rin po, hindi ko rin po alam ang sagot dun sa mga tanong na yun.
It seems like hindi pa po nakakapaganda si VP Duterte dahil sa The Hague. Siya po yung immediate family ni dating Pangulong Duterte doon nakasama. So, mayroon po ba kayong any message for her? Kasi it seems like nagdududa siya doon sa hawak niyong ebidensya against her.
Oh, well, nung wala pa naman po sa The Hague, wala din naman pong yung mga nakuhang sagot. Actually, during the hearings, puro parang maraming sagutan, maraming drama, pero there wasn't a straight answer na nakuha natin during the hearings, briefings, or even informal or formal interviews with her. So, siguro po, yun pa rin, ang bottom line, inaantay pa rin po natin yung mga sagot tungkol doon. And yun nga, I'm sure it will be addressed during the impeachment naman po. Siyempre, yung pagpunta naman po sa Hague, hindi naman po natin pwedeng questionin yun kasi as a daughter, saka yung tatay naman po ang kanyang pinupuntahan.
Yesterday po in an interview, si House Secretary General Velasco made a statement. Nag-conduct daw po ng mock trial yung prosecution panel ng House for the impeachment. Kahit hindi po kayo kasama sa prosecution team pero member po kayo ng House leadership that supports the prosecution team, can you confirm this and also any significant developments sa preparations ng House prosecution panel?
As far as I know, hindi ko po alam yung sa mock trial, pero ang alam ko meron silang short meeting. Pero hanggang doon lang talaga yung alam ko. Pero malamang if ever may mock trial, part po ng preparation po lahat 'yon para pagdating po ng June, wala na po tayong delays, wala na po tayong aberya, at saka well prepared naman po yung team of prosecutors natin dito sa House of Representatives.
Idadagdag ko lang po, aside from the preparation, actually you have 11-man team dyan eh. So it's also important para they can move as one, yung rapport at saka yung kasi tinatawag nating chemistry, how can not only consolidate their the data and the evidences that they have to provide, but how can they also complement each other. So I think that's part of the preparation process that we also the House is also trying to proceed on, no.
Last on my part na lang din po, kasi po meron pong bahagi na statement si SP Cheese para rin po kay Kong Ortega. Kasi nag-react po siya dun sa sinabi niyo, kung nakakapag-conduct ng hearings during recess, why not conduct the impeachment trial? Pero sabi po ni SP Cheese din, perhaps he may also want to get clearer signals from the Speaker, referring to you po, Kong Ortega, who is quite satisfied and has never questioned the Senate's actions, preparations, and preparedness.
Yun nga po, sabi ko nga, baka kala rin siguro na prosecutor ako. Kasi nga po, nag-comment ako dun sa issue. Pero, sabi ko nga, nakita ko yung press release from the Speaker na natuwa po siya sa commitment ng Senate dun po sa nararating po na impeachment, no. Nung nakita ko po yun na nag-react po saka sumagot po si Speaker Martin Romualdez, siguro nakiliti lang ako ng konti saka kinilig. Alam mo yun, na-excite ako, parang ganun ba? Kasi nga, madami nga pong diskusyon tungkol dito sa impeachment eh. Eh syempre, ipapahayag din po natin yung opinion natin saka sentimiento. Kinilig lang ako ng konti na maganda po yung ugnayan saka usapan po ng Senate saka House of Representatives. Yun lang naman po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Rosalie. Tina Pangiliman Perez from GMA7. You're recognized.
Naririnig niyo, sir. Good morning po. Sir, several members of the House have condemned Attorney Harry Roque's continued stay in the Netherlands as an attempt to evade the contempt and detention order of the Quadcom. Lalo pa he's trying to seek asylum there. As active members of the Quadcom, ano pong masasabi niyo rito? And if you have any messages po for Attorney Roque?
Well, even the Vice President, Sara Duterte, he sees the presence of Harry Roque as part of the legal team. Supposedly, that's the initial information that we got. Something that would cause more problem to the case itself. I think she knows, in the team, she already knows. They already know that Harry Roque is bringing too much problem if ever that he would remain in the Netherlands, because they understand that not only Attorney Roque was he cited in contempt by the Quadcom, but he also is facing a serious case here in the country, yung qualified human trafficking, its involvement in the Pogo. Kasi pareho po sila ng kaso with Alice Goo. So, he has no business in the Netherlands anymore, considering that the team of the legal team, no less than the Vice President, says na wala, hindi naman po siya parte doon sa legal team. So I don't know why he remains to be in Netherlands apart from evading the reach of evading the case that he has to face here in the country. Kasi titingnan mo, prior to the arrest of former president, he is already in hiding. Umalis na po siya. So there was already the intent not to face not only the Quad but not to face the court. So as a lawyer himself, he knows quite very well that he needs to respect the law. He needs to have himself presented before the court so that he can clear his name. If he continues to be elusive and evasive and continues to go, I don't know how could I qualify that up until the arrest of President Duterte. We didn't know where he was until dumating siya sa Netherlands and he's presented himself as one of the lawyers. So I think he has no business doing in Netherlands. He has to come home and he needs to face the charges before him. And that's his opportunity to clear his name. He's a lawyer. He knows how to deal with it. He can effectively defend himself before the courts. Sabi nga naman niya, so expert siya sa mga ganyang klaseng kaso. So I don't see any reason why he keeps on running away and not face the charges being filed against him here in the Philippines. Not only the Quad citing ng contempt, but even the more serious one, which is the qualified human trafficking.
Attorney Jill Bungalon, sir, will you please enlighten us, non-lawyers, regarding doon sa contention ng legal panel ni former President Duterte? Kaya sila nagfile ng petition for certiorari and TRO and now habeas corpus sa Supreme Court na nagkaroon daw ng procedural lapses doon sa execution ng arrest warrant from ICC kasi supposed to be daw, even Senator Cayetano, sinabi niya na yung arrest warrant ay dapat i-validate pa ng local competent court before na-execute.
Okay. With respect to that issue, I haven't read their petition, petition for certiorari and the petition for writ of habeas corpus. But, well, I assume that their contention is that there were procedural lapses in the implementation of the warrant, number one, because according to them, probably the Philippines should not recognize that warrant, because we are no longer a party or a member under the Rome Statute. So, yun yung sinasabi nila. Well, my understanding of this issue is that the warrant of arrest was validly issued by the International Tribunal, particularly the ICC. And although the Philippines is not a member, is no longer a member of the Rome Statute, but the warrant of arrest was coursed through the Interpol, of which our country, the Philippines, is a long-time member of this organization. And under that, we are duty-bound, we are under-obligated to effect and implement the warrant. So, being a member, meron ho tayong obligasyon, no, na through our Philippine National Police or the law enforcement agencies to implement and effect the warrant. So ginawa lang naman ng ating pong gobyerno yung kanilang trabaho na with the issuance of the warrant of arrest, kailangan nila po yun iserve kay Pangulong Duterte. At yung sa petition for writ of habeas corpus, of course, they really want the body of President Duterte, no, to be returned in this country. But I guess it should be a matter that the Supreme Court should decide. And also, there are legal remedies available on the part of the respondent, no, on the part of President Duterte. So probably they can file a motion or a petition with the ICC, considering that in a few hours, of course, the president will be turned over to the authorities of the ICC, which has the jurisdiction over the case. And yun po yung mga kailangan natin abangan, ano? And again, as mentioned nga, this is unprecedented. Hindi pa to nangyari before eh. And that is why, well, once and for all, for the Supreme Court to decide with respect to that issue, no? Regarding that procedural lapses. And of course, hindi yung fact na kailangan po i-validate, you know, by being a member of the Interpol, of course, as part of the global community, we should cooperate with respect to transnational crimes like terrorism, cyber crimes, hijacking, human trafficking. So these are crimes that are being committed, no, across the country. For instance, let me illustrate. What if a particular individual, a foreign individual, committed a serious crime, for instance, crimes against humanity, no, in a particular foreign country, at yung akusadong yon lumipad dito sa ating bansa, no, to seek, no, probably para makapag-evade ng justice, para magtago, and the ICC issued a warrant, no, for that arrest of that particular person. So, ano bang gusto mong ibig sabihin? Hindi ba kikibo ang ating pong bansa na hulihin ang isang individual na gumawa ng isang seryosong krimen, no, sa ibang bansa? So, magiging pangit ang implikasyon nito. Baka isipin ng mga mamamayan o ng ibang mga neighboring countries na baka magiging safe haven for criminals itong ating bansa if we will not comply with our obligation under Interpol. So again, we have to respect the legal process. We have to trust the legal process. So yun po yung aking komento patungkol po dyan.
Another question, Attorney Jill, regarding impeachment. Sir, can you confirm na based on the information from the Senate, na supposed to be this day, magkakaroon kayo ng ocular inspection mismo doon sa nire-request nyo na room assignment, pero pinospon daw kasi this afternoon magmi-meeting uli ang prosecution panel regarding the next move on the impeachment against the Vice President after the arrest of former President Duterte?
Well, probably an official request was already sent to the Senate, no, for us to asking the Senate, no, through the Senate President na bigyan po kami ng isang kwarto, no, in anticipation for the trial, no, wherein doon ho kami tutuloy at doon yung mga paghahanda na gagawin namin bago po magsimula ang impeachment trial. Pero kami pong mga public prosecutors together with the private prosecutors ay nagkaroon po ng pag-meeting, no, kahapon. At ganun pa din yung aming pong paghahanda sa magiging impeachment trial. Of course, yung division of labor or yung assignment of task were already given to the respective members of the prosecution panel. Let's wait and see, no, what would be the next move of the prosecutors dito pong mga darating na araw. But then again, if given the chance, no, mabuti na din po na magkaroon kami ng pagkakataon na makabisita, no, at least parte po ng aming preparasyon yan sa aming trial. We have to be familiarized, no, with the environment wherein doon po mangyayari yung trial. So, parte po yung ng aming pong mga preparasyon. Wala ho kaming meeting ngayong hapon.
Thank you, Vic. Lene Escapante from GMA Online.
Good afternoon, sir. About, nabanggit din kasi ni Kong Jude to kanina, yung Pangilinan versus Cayetano na ruling of the Supreme Court, stating that the Philippines is still obligated to cooperate with ICC proceedings provided that yung alleged crimes happened during when we were still a party to the Rome Statute and the complaint was filed, the proceedings were initiated prior to the withdrawal. Given this Supreme Court decision, do you think the Marcos government stands on solid legal ground in effecting the arrest?
Well, I think, as just to be consistent with what the president said, no, he cooperated with the Interpol, taking into consideration that we have our own obligations to the Interpol, which are separate with that our obligation to the ICC, and I think that alone is already a solid, without even appeal, solid basis, without even having to appeal to the jurisprudence set by Pangilinan versus Cayetano, no? Dun pa lang, may kuan na. Kasi, dadagdag ko lang yung sinabi ni Kong Jill. Maraming, like for example, maraming mga Pilipino ang nasasangkot o di kaya naging biktima ng human trafficking, for example. At marami dito, especially when you talk about transnational crime, ang main actor talaga dito, Interpol. And I think, that justifies significantly the need to cooperate with the Interpol in this regard. But nonetheless, even without that, had the administration chose to follow, to apply the provision, to cite the provisions of the decision ng Pangilinan versus Cayetano, that would have bolstered the position of the administration. But even if we don't go there, the decision itself to cooperate with the Interpol provides already a solid foundation, a solid ground for the Marcos administration to take due course, to take the course of action that they have done yesterday.
Baka may additional. Sir, kayo. Others po baka may additional.
Yes, we have to remember that the decisions of the Supreme Court form parts of the law of the land. So with that, the administration has a strong legal ground when, of course, they cooperated, no, with the implementation of the warrant by virtue of being a member of the Interpol, not because we are a member of the ICC. So I think that's clear, no, to everyone. The action was made not because we are a member of the ICC, but because we are a member of the Interpol. And under that, we are duty-bound to act. Of course, we have to maintain our diplomatic relations with other countries. What if, on our side, mangyari din yung ganitong bagay? We want a fugitive, no, who is hiding in other country, and we want that fugitive to be taken. So, of course, we will expect to that particular country to do the same, no, to cooperate, to arrest that particular person and bring that to justice and face the trial in court here or in the International Tribunal.
Second question ko po. The PNP has placed its regional offices and national support units under heightened alert after concerns of potential civil unrest rallies and mass actions following the recent arrest of the former president. Do you find this necessary? Or because other camps are, interpreting this as, sign of, being afraid of the supporters of the former president? Is this necessary, placing PNP units under heightened alert?
I think it's just standard protocol. Kasi when emotions are high, syempre, kailangan nating lagyan ng presence para to make sure that law and order is upheld.
May add si sir. May add pa kayo, sir. Okay na. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lines Capanti. Sandro Ochona from Billionario TV.
Sirs, balikan ko lang yung question ni Dwight kanina. Is it possible na kaya nangyari yung nangyari kahapon because Duterte was a victim of his own wrong pronouncements? Una, yung hurrying up yung sa ICC during the Quadcom. And then yung pagkala sa ICC, kaya hindi siya pwedeng makulong dito because we're no longer a member state.
Mahirap naman kasi ang sabi ko nga, nasa korte po talaga yan. So, ang hirap din naman na yung accused, ididiin mo. Siyempre, may biktima dyan. Parang ang dating, sila nga ngayon yung biktima. Pero sabi ko nga, nasa ICC na yan. I believe during the Quadcom.
District Representative Jorvil Luistro. Representative Luistro, good morning.
Good morning, Karen, and thank you for having me again in your program.
I know, are you starting the campaign already?
This has been my routine since my day one of becoming a congresswoman. So, whether with election or otherwise, ito po yung ating trabaho talaga whenever we are in the district here in Batangas. Conducting our regular preparation towards the impeachment trial. We are having this posture of pushing the impeachment trial earlier than pronounced by the Senate President. And we continue to hope that with the other sectors of the Philippines pushing for an earlier impeachment trial, we're hoping that the Senate will change its mind and consider the clamor of the Filipino people to have the impeachment trial even before election.
Okay, but is there a clamor? You heard the report. It seems that in a new survey, 43% of Filipinos don't want the impeachment trial.
In as far as I am concerned, Karen, I am here in the district. Most of the time I am with the constituents. And a lot of people are asking really, when are we going to start with the impeachment trial? I also asked my colleagues in the House, my fellow prosecutors, and they told me that their constituents in their respective districts have the same sentiments and inclination. So in as far as the prosec team is concerned, Karen, we honestly believe that there's really a clamor from the part of the public to proceed with the